Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. Last year when we went to Taiwan for Computex, I noticed that at the Cooler Master booth, they had Cooler Master branded monitors. Now I asked them and I said, guys, are these ever coming to Australia? And the answer was a flat out no, but turns out that they are actually coming to Australia because we've got one right here to check out. So in this video, we're going to take a look at Cooler Master's first ever monitor, the GM34CW. It's a curved ultra-wide 144Hz gaming monitor that supports AMD FreeSync 2 and NVIDIA G-Sync with a few other cool little tricks up its sleeve too. Let's kick off this Cooler Master GM34CW video by talking about the numbers and the stats for people who are that way inclined. It features a 34-inch Quantum Dot VA panel with a resolution of 3440 by 1440. It's got a peak brightness of 400 nits and is HDR 400 and HDR10 compatible, but not certified for either. It's a curved display with the 1500R curve. It features AMD's FreeSync 2 adaptive sync technology and will work with NVIDIA G-Sync as well. It's also got a response time of 1 millisecond. It supports 125% of the sRGB color space and 95% of the DCI-P3 color space. That on its own makes this panel a cut above most other ultra-wide VA panels. The GM34CW has a 178-degree wide viewing angle with a 3000:1 contrast ratio. It's got one HDMI 2.0 port, one HDMI 1.4 port, as well as two DisplayPort 1.4 ports. It's got rear ambient lighting that cannot be adjusted. It's in that Cooler Master purple color, and there's also a headphone jack as well as two 3-watt speakers. The build quality is pretty good for a first crack at a monitor, and it's not bad at all. I've seen a lot worse in my time. It's got a very understated design and it would feel right at home in a crazy gaming battle station or even in an office setting. It's got a zero bezel design with a matte screen surface. The stand is fully height, tilt and swivel adjustable. You don't need rotation adjustment on an ultra wide panel. The base of the stand is also in the shape of the Cooler Master Halo logo if you're into that sort of thing. Personally, I VESA mount all of my monitors, and at first glance this monitor doesn't look like it's got any VESA mounting at all, but it does come with adapter brackets so you can VESA mount this panel. Okay, let's get this out of the way because it's a gaming monitor and you can't expect it to have the most accurate colors, except that this monitor does. The out-of-the-box calibration is pretty average. You'll need to do a few things to get the most out of this panel. I prefer the warm mode over the cool mode on the GM34CW. The upside is, once you calibrate this monitor, you can use it for content creation. And not just because the color gamut is so wide, it's because this monitor also supports a 10-bit color depth. For me personally, this is a must-have for anyone using this for content creation. So hats off to Cooler Master for doing their research on this and including something that I would personally use on a daily driver content creation monitor. And it's actually not bad considering this is their first ever monitor. So yeah, keep adding 10-bit to all your panels. In regards to adaptive sync, we didn't encounter any issues with this display, both using FreeSync and G-Sync, and the implementation here is actually pretty good. So I'm happy that we don't need to dive into this anymore. It's become pretty standard. It's basically a non-issue anymore, and there wasn't any noticeable ghosting either. We get a lot of comments with people complaining about ghosting with displays, but more often than not, those people who are describing their ghosting symptoms aren't realizing that what they're actually describing is not ghosting at all. And to be very honest, there isn't really that much to dislike about the Cooler Master GM34CW. I think that Cooler Master's done a really good job on their first monitor ever, and I really want to drill this in. This is their first ever panel. This is a serious bit of kit, and if you're in the market for a 34-inch ultra-wide 144Hz gaming monitor, or even for content creation, I honestly think this monitor is one you should consider. However, it's not all rainbows and lollipops. There are 4 issues that I have with this monitor, and keep in mind, and I'm going to keep saying it, Cooler Master has never, ever made a monitor before, and they came out of the gate a lot stronger than I thought they would, to be very honest. The first issue is the GM34CW has a row of buttons on the front of the screen for the menu system. Personally, I'm not a fan of this, and the menu layout itself is not good. The menu controls are pretty clunky, but once you figure it out, I suspect that you'll almost never need to use them. A USB connection with Master Plus integration would have been really nice here. Like how other monitor manufacturers are doing it, where you can literally go into a bit of software and control every single aspect of the monitor. I actually like this. This is a nice feature. And secondly, while I'm on the topic of USB, it also would have been nice for them to include a USB hub in the monitor. For me personally, I use them in every single monitor I daily drive. I use them for wireless dongles, for peripherals, for card readers, and just ease of access for any USB stuff in general. Again, inclusion would have been nice, but also, yeah, it's not a deal breaker that it's not there. It also would have aided with the software integration. Thirdly, the HDR 400/HDR10 support is okay. It's not great, it's not bad, it's just about okay. 400 nits just is not bright enough for a panel with these features, and it seems too washed out and too warm in general. And even if you spend time calibrating it, it's just okay. If you're not using this panel for HDR, which I suspect most people won't, it's gonna be fine. The last issue I have with the GM34CW is I don't get to keep it. Sure, the lack of USB is a little bit annoying, the menu system is not good, and the HDR support is lackluster, but the monitor itself, the thing that you're actually looking at, is pretty excellent. Again, the out-of-the-box calibration could be way better, but these are things you can fix on your own. Other than those things, this panel is pretty good, and again, it's a very good first outing for Cooler Master. It's not just me saying that either. Read some other reviews of this monitor, and basically everyone is agreeing here that this monitor is pretty darn good. Now, if you're interested in grabbing one of these monitors, they're going for around $750 US or around 1,398 Australian dollars at the time of filming. That's really expensive. Like, yeah, it's definitely more expensive and on that steeper side, but you're getting quite a bit of monitor for that price. If you've got any questions about anything in this video at all, feel free to drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think of 34-inch ultra wides. Personally, I love them. I've been daily driving one for about 4 years, and for the stuff that I do on a day-to-day, not gaming aside, no problem, but editing and content creation, all my day-to-day stuff, I could never go back to a 16:9. And I also wanted to add this, and we do this on the end of all of our monitor videos, that we keep this monitor content nice and easy to digest, because people might not understand what everything means, and I like to talk about things the regular user will find useful. I like to leave all the decisions in your hands, and I like to keep everything nice and clean and simple. Not everyone's an expert, and that's what we're here for, to break that down and make that as easy as possible for you to understand. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you hated the video, hit the dislike button twice. If you want to get early access to videos like this one, head on over to our Floatplane. If you like the music, I make the music. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. You peak, we seek. And again, I have to say this at the end of every video. Cooler Master didn't sponsor this video. It's nothing like that. We don't even get to keep this panel. I genuinely think this is a good panel. It's a great first outing. I can't wait for the next generation of these panels, because if they start listening to the feedback that a lot of people had with USB and a better menu system, the next one is going to be an absolute cracker. Thanks for watching.